So what was your reaction when you found out that the movie was finally happening?
I think a sort of excited relief, really, because it had been a long time brewing, and there'd been some, not false starts, but there'd been sort of hesitations along the way as to whether we were going to be able to get everyone in the same place at the same time, and Julian Fellows adjusted the story that he wanted to tell, and so it was wonderful when it finally all came together.
I wasn't sure that it was. I was a bit trepidatious.
Oh, I thought it never was going to.
Up until
the first day of shooting. I
first
thought
day,
that was
well,
never
the
gonna
read-through, I think.
Yeah.
I still doubted it.
Did you?
And also, how was the reunion of the cast that first day of shooting? How did you feel?
What was it? Can you remember what the first
well,
shot
I can't remember what the first shot was, but I remember the read-through. There was a sort of, I just felt this sort of wry grin that, you know, looking around the table, you know, 3 years after we'd finished shooting and thinking, here we are again, and catching people's eyes, and everyone sort of vaguely sort of shaking their heads, going, I can't believe this either.
I know.
What was the very first thing we shot?
I can't remember.
Somebody said it was the wine cellar. Was it the wine cellar?
Was it? I don't
Possibly.
think so.
Nobody knows. But it was. Yeah. It was kind of very familiar, really. After 6 years of doing the TV series, 3-year gap, and then suddenly we put on the costumes, and there we were back in the world, and it was very easy.
And what do you think that is the biggest novelty of the film comparing to the TV show?
Well, I guess the revival of royalty. Wonderful.
Yeah, I think the sense of scale that
Oh, yeah.
you get with the story, and B, the look of the piece, and that's been the you know, having our director of photography, Ben, who you know, has filmed it in such a lush and cinematic way, and every department has sort of upped their game really to put it on that bigger canvas, and the story itself is a step up. You know, if the Crawley family has always been the top of the aristocratic tree in terms of our world, suddenly there's a new branch above them, the royal family, coming to visit, and that really does sort of elevate the whole story.
It truly does feel cinematic in a way that I was really not expecting, and I saw it last night for the first time, and it really gave me goosebumps that I wasn't expecting, because it somehow feels bigger, and the scope is grander, and there's more depth in what you see visually, and it's really exciting that all those characters are up on that big screen. You feel kind of proud for all of them.
But for the fans, it's the same familiar characters and locations that they're used to, and obviously work for them because they love it so much that it was the fans who demanded the film, really. They kept saying, when's there going to be a film, when's there going to be a film? So I think they'll be very, very happy to step back into the world of Downton Abbey that they know and they've loved for so long.
And there's something about cinema that it's like it's the highest accolade. And when I see like little Daisy and her face is that big and it's filling this giant auditorium, I just can't help but feel this kind of sense of unbelievable pride.
And I'm sure fans are going to love it, but what do you think that is the most appealing aspect for those who haven't watched the TV show?
I think for those who don't know the TV show, the characters are established so very quickly, and the dynamics between the characters are so clearly defined that if you don't know the show at all, it'll still appeal. And I think in this, it's you know, when I watched it, the music started, the lights went down, and my shoulders relaxed. You know, you step out of our current world and into this fictional world, and you're taken on a sweeping journey of great elegance and fun and adventure, and you know, with some little, you know, pin drop moments as well, but some big laughs.
We've just been talking to somebody who had watched it, never having seen the series. And now she started watching the series from scratch. She's up to season 4
in a week.
In a week.
Yeah.
She's so.
It's very helpful, I think, that one of the characters says quite early on, well, it is 1927.
Yes,
and that's helpful for the
That
audience.
sets the tone, yeah.
And TV show, there's lots of characters and stories. Were you afraid that 2 hours wasn't enough time to tell like a complete story for all of the characters?
I was very impressed that they managed to tell so many stories so economically, and that is not easy to do. But what Julian's always been, what has been his expertise, is to say a lot very efficiently. And that's why he manages to weave this really interesting tapestry, because he can suggest so much in so few words.
And also the show is kind of more dramatic than the film. I feel like it's more like a comedy. Did you have that sense while shooting, or you discovered it when you were watching the film?
No, I think the tone of it, as I said, Julian had tried a couple of different versions of the story, and actually I think what he lighted on finally, which is this slightly lighter tone, I think is perfect for the cinema. You know, particularly in the world we're living in at the moment, to actually, you know, allow the audience to go on a fun journey, not take itself too seriously. There are still some serious storylines within it, some themes that are touched on that are, you know, are important and are treated with great sensitivity. But overall, I think yes, the tone is light and fun, and it's just, you know, wonderful to go into a cinema and just bathe in that world for a couple of hours.
And hear the audience
that was
laughing
great.
their heads
Because we never see it with an audience. So last night at the premiere, we got to see it with an audience, and when the camera revealed the castle and the theme music came in, people clapped and cheered. You know, oh, that's good. Oh, this is going to be all right. It was nice.